Well, hello there, good afternoon. Just had a moment there thinking, what number tile are we on? You can see that I thought it was 234, but it's not, it's 235. Goodness me, do you know what? I can still remember doing tile number 1 way back in the day, and things have changed since then, all the different colours and all sorts of things, and we've grown as a community as well. Of course, this weekend, we've got classes. Absolutely fantastic, can't wait. And of course, we're going to have the whole staff in. So if you've never met Tommy before, he's going to be here for the 2 days as well. So it's all looking great fun, I think. So, okay, where are we going to start today? What do I have? Red tile out of the Brights pack. You can use any colour tile you like, but I fancy going a bit red today. Don't tell Leslie, because she does like her red tiles. And of course, regular pen, pencil, tortillon, and I do have some pastel pencils here with me as well. I've been struggling actually to get any in stock. I'm still looking, and I think I need to sort of dedicate, or maybe delegate. John's saying no, to see if we can find some. So hang on in there. All right then, where are we going to start here? Let's have a look. Do I put a border down? Do you know what? I'm going to put a border, but I'm going to put a small border. Okay, so I'm going to come straight in with my pen. Here we go. And let's say small border. I don't want it too wide this time. Let's come in with the, see, quite a narrow. I want to use the whole tile today. There we go. Oh, see, really narrow. And let's turn it around. And okay, same sort of thing again. Right, or about the same anyway. It really doesn't matter. There we are. Let's take my time with that. Okay, there we go. Really small border. So, deep breath. Next job then. Oh, Bonnie, that's brilliant. Sorry, I've moved it to Tuesday. It's just I'm doing a lot of shows sort of Wednesdays, so I didn't want to mess things up. I thought we'd swap it. All right, are we ready? Okay. I'm going to start sort of about the middle, and what I want to do, because if you want to use a pencil first, by all means go ahead, and I'm going to start a curve, and I want it going up and across almost to the top of the tile there. So let's go, take it slow, and of course if you feel better drawing it top to bottom, you can do that. So I'm going to go along here and create this lovely little curve. I say little, it's probably the biggest curve we've done in a while on a tile, isn't it? And around, create a bubble. Okay, so again, if you want to do that in pencil, please don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine. Do it in pencil. Okay? So then I'm going to come around this little bubble here. I'm not going to go all the way down. Let's just take our time. And along. And round. There we go. Coming around a little bit more. So I'm sort of doing that little aura kind of thing. And there we go. And then I'm going to bring it in and back to nothing. So even if you want to draw that line in again. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna fill that in, but let's have a look. Have I got a thicker pen to do it with? I don't want to worry about using my small nib there. Let's fill that in. There we go. So let's do another one. Of course, there's always another one. I'm going to bring it along and round here this time. So let's have a look. Along, not too far up there, look, and around here. A bit of a loop there. Okay. All right. Oh, hi Chris, welcome. Got a spot a name there. There's a few people been welcoming you. That's lovely. Always nice to see new names. Of course, you can have a go when you want. You don't have to follow along. I do tangle quite quickly, I must admit, with these, so you might want to mute me later and stop and start me. So I think John wishes he could mute me sometimes. I'm sure he loves me lots. There you go. All right. So there's my next one. I'm going to do another one of these. I want it to come up and round here, so I'm going to create quite a space up and sort of round. Let's take it under there. There we are. And then let's go back around, just as before. You might want to sort of stop and start as you're going, that's fine, and then bring it back to nothing there. And then again, I'm going to fill this in with a bit of ink. Here we go. Oh, it doesn't look so bad now, does it? We've got something on the page. It's all right. I'm going to do another one of these, but I'm going to bring it out this way. Let's have a look. Sort of around there, and again, forming that bubble. You see? And again, as before, let's create that little shape around it. There we go. And again, I'm just going to work around that curve, and then I'm going to bring it in and back to the same line it started with. There we go. Oh, you're welcome, Chris. We do our best to get them out. We are still working on hobby maker orders. We're going to get quite a lot out today, and any that we don't manage to get to the post office, they'll be tomorrow. And of course, we've got shop orders, and I know some of you have spotted the new website. I was a bit sneaky and I put a few things on there last night, but I can't get anything past you guys. I really can't. No, no, Leslie was dead happy about that this morning. Okay, so I'm going to work in between this little space here. I say little, it's a little bit bigger than we normally would do maybe, so let's have a look. I'm going to come in with a little curve here, okay, and then another, and then another. And of course yours is going to be a little bit different here, because of course it depends on how large your curls are to start with. So see, I'm doing another one that's a little bit wider, and then another. You see, I'm right at the top of that curve now, so you could choose to stop there if you wanted to. I might even, I'm going to squeeze another one in, I think. So it's coming over the curves. Now, if you haven't got the room to do all of those many, that's fine. The new website, Barbara, is www.sanntangle.co.uk. Thought we'd try and make it easy. Okay, so let's have a look at this then. I'm going to start with the top here, and I'm going to put in some little loops. You see, quite sort of wide loops. I'm going to start in the middle and work my way around all the way to the end, and then the same this side, loops all the way. Okay, you see we've got those little gaps left. Let's have a look. Jackie, I don't know. I'll have to check it with mine. I've not had a problem with mine at the minute. It's we find it quicker to load than the old one. Not to worry about that now. So I've got little bubbles in between each one, and I'm going to just go in there and fill it in with any gaps that are left with that ink there. I'm using the thin pen, of course, because I want to get into those little gaps. Okay. And then let's have a look at the next one down. I'm going to create a little curved shape, like a little leaf. You see, I've used in between those to give me a little bit of a guide as to where to put them. Maybe I'm going to see a little bit of one there. And the same along here. Sort of taking my time. Okay. So in between them, let's bring in a little bit of a curve on the bottom. Okay. I like that. I'm going to even put, if you can fit one, a little line in between. If you can't fit one, don't worry about it. It depends on how big your shape is there. Okay. Let's have a look at this then. next one. I'm going to come in with a loop. I'll go a bit bigger if I can. That's as big as I can get there. Let's start with a loop. See, coming around, back on itself, a little loop. And then I'm going to repeat it going that way. And then repeat it going that way. And you see how it starts to form that little bit of a lacy kind of design there. And just take my time. I do enjoy doing this one actually. You have to focus on it, take your time, it looks good. And then this one I'm going to add in some little lines. Okay. First one side, then the other. And the next one. Again, you might not have space for all of these. If that's the case, it doesn't matter. You can just work it as to how many you can put in. And then this last one, I'm going to curve the edge so it's more of a loop at the bottom there, you see? And any space I'm going to fill with ink, put a little line in. There we are. So let's look at this one. I'm going to cut a couple of little lines, maybe 2, maybe 3, see however many you can get in. See, I'm just flicking them up on the line there. I feel like I'm putting 3s in now, so that's okay. I'm going to do 3s. You might want to do 2s or 1s, or whatever works. Oh, Nicola, honestly, it does take a little bit of focus, doesn't it? I think the slower you go, the harder it is. just go for it. Okay, oh, look where we're at. So we've got this lovely sort of fan design going on there. There we go. All right. So we've got another gap here, haven't we? And so have a look. I'm gonna put another curve in. Now, I'm not gonna count so much, I'm not gonna worry, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you really need to. So you don't have to have them many. We could have more. We could go wider if I want to. Maybe I will get an extra one in. I don't know. I'm not counting anymore, see. There we are. I think that's as far as I can sort of go. So I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 7 there this time. All right, what to do with 7? All right, I'm going to do the same at the top as I did before. Let's put that little loop in the middle there. And then around and again. You see? Just going to get part of one in there. And onto this one. And into there. And let's put those bubbles back in. Okay, now if you're up to it, I'm doing another tile this evening at 7 on the Crafting Together with All Brands page. So you don't have to, I don't know if you have to join that one or it's public. But if you join, I don't think it's an issue. And I'll be on there at 7 doing another tile. We agreed, Lou and I, that I think way back in March I was going to do it. So good job I wrote it in my calendar. There we are. So let's put those little flicks in now. Then I'm not going to forget them later. But you could, add more patterns in there if you wanted to. Sometimes it's nice to have a bit of contrast, isn't it? Oh, thank you, Nicola. I appreciate that. And April. Because you never know, you go onto somebody else's Facebook and you have no idea. So I could be just talking to myself while I'm tangling, which is nothing unusual, I must admit. But here we are, putting those little leaf kind of shapes in again. Maybe so you're going to get a little bit on one there. And then remember, put the loop underneath. Oh, Chrissy, yeah, see if I can do that. But if not, I'm sure somebody else will be able to. And, it's normally okay. Oh, thank you, everybody. I know what you mean, Christine. It does a little bit, isn't it? It's very, I think the colour helps as well. It's nice. Right, what was next then? What did we do? Oh, we did Nicola's favourite one. Here we are, little loops. If you're struggling with it, it might be that you're not doing your loop wide enough. You've got to bring it round in order to work it. I don't know, it's a bit of practice, that one. Yeah. I have to give you something to have a go at. Go on, Nicola, you can do it. You can do it. See, the next one we got was lines. So I'll do the same again. And I'll put these lines in again, starting from the middle. I'm just laughing now, thinking of Nicola trying to do that loop design. I'm sorry. I have to challenge you now and again. Then see, look, I've got these lovely little bubbles. Put the bubbles in. And I'm going to fill in the gaps there. And then, of course, I've got an extra row here, so I could just do a little row of bubbles maybe. You could fill it with lines again. There we are. And then along we go. Oh, is that having a bacon sarnie? That's not fair. I do miss a bacon sarnie. I don't eat bread anymore, so it doesn't like me. All right. Oh, the loopy leaves, Therese. They were a leaf curve shape. This one was it, and then a curve underneath. And it gives the impression that you've done the loop, but you haven't. Oh, Chrissy, none. I'm afraid for me, it would be no sauce at all. I'm a bit of a thing like that. Okay, so next job. Let's go a bit larger. A few bits on this today. I want to just put an extra line around this shape here, quite narrow if possible, just to give it a bit of a break between what it is and what's coming. Just relax your grip when you do that, because it's quite a large curve. Or don't worry about stopping part way through. Like that. See, turn it round so it's more comfortable for you. And then bring it round. Okay, so we've got that. All right. So we've got a little bit of a space here, so what I want to do is I'm going to bring a line over from about here over, and again just relax your pen as you're coming around. It's a big curve, and back into where we sort of join those two together. And I'm going to do another one. See, it's come further down this time. I'm going to work it around and back into that line, and then I'll get another one in. See, I'm going to stop at the border and come round to that line, and then I'm going to finish another one as though it's sort of in there and it's joined. Oh, Lynn, I like my mushrooms too, I must admit. See, I'm getting smaller each time till I've got no space left to do anything with. I've got this little curve on the top there. Okay, so let's have a look at doing that on this one as well, I think. Let's start it here. Come on around. Again, don't worry about stopping and starting if you need to, that's fine. To there. And another. See, I'm already sort of into that border, but that's fine. I'm going to imagine it's going round. And each time it gets a little bit smaller and smaller. And the next one. There we go. Alright. Okay. See, we're all on food now, aren't we? Nice. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing on these, but I don't want this one to be sort of too elaborate, so I'm going to keep it quite narrow because I've got something else planned for that middle section. You see, they're a little bit narrower than the others, but I want to keep it consistent, I think so. There we are. It's nice and cute, isn't it? So I'll do the same with this one. Keep it small. just sort of on that top row there a little bit. It looks like an eye now, doesn't it, that one? Work it back into that line. Of course, you know, yours is going to be completely different. But that's fine. Don't think they've got to be the same. It's all about, you know, you do what you enjoy here. There we go. All right, let's have a look at it. Okay, this is where we're at so far. So I want to bring a little bit of something up here then. In the middle. I'm going to go a little bit bigger there. Okay. So I'm going to bring it up, and we've done this before with a little loop on the end. So that's nothing new particularly. I'm going to just fill that in. And then let's extend it a little bit and bring it a curl back, you see? Changes the shape a little bit. Let's do another one coming off here. So little loop, fill it in, and then line up, and then I'm going to put a curve there. I've got this almost like a rush kind of thing, isn't it? Let's put a little curl dot on the end. Dot on the end. Maybe another one. Will we get another one in? Maybe not. No, I think I'll leave it at that. But I'm going to do a couple here too, so let's bring it round, little loop. Fill it in, extend the line, put a curve on the end. Yeah, one sort of going underneath there. Line and curve it. I think one more going that way. There we are. Oh, Kath, they will. Honestly, if your hobby maker orders are not out today, they'll be out tomorrow. And we post everything first class, so it'll be fine. And they go straight to the sorting office, and then we pray to the postage gods. So that's all we can do. Okay, maybe a little dot on there, see? Okay. So let's have a look at this side. We've got some space here now. I'm just going to sort of work out a little bit. So I'm going to start, doesn't really matter where I start actually, I'm going to start by here. I'm going to bring in a loop. Alright. And then working from that same point, a loop. 2 on that side I can get, see, just getting to the bottom, and then see how many I can get on this side. There you go, 2's fine. Let's put that little line up through the middle of each one. Alright. So let's do another one. I'm not going to go in the corner on purpose, I think. I can start one here. Now I don't want it to, you know, really clash too much, but we know that they're going to go underneath, and that's fine. And then when I get to the border, you see that I've gone around what I've straightened it up there. At Lynn, I send all the product up to Crafters and they send it out. So anything that you've ordered from Crafters TV will come from them. And anything from Hobby Maker, we send out. So it can get a little bit fun here in the office. We're making for one show, packing for another, trying to design in the middle. So, yeah. But no, we love it. We love it. There we go. And see another one there. Putting those little lines in. Okay. Gonna get another one. Maybe I could put one on here. See, it's gonna sort of look like it's going underneath the border there. I don't know, Jackie. I think any post at the minute, you just never know. I've got one actually that said it'd been delivered on a product the weekend, and it hadn't. And I've emailed them and said, hang on a minute, it's not arrived, and I've heard nothing. So I think I need to get onto them and see what's going on. Okay, so I'm working the same design along this bottom side here. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Tea time. There we go. Little lines. And let's go join that. So maybe I'm not going to put one in that corner on purpose. I think I'll do one here, so it looks like it's going in. There we are. Oh, did we all hear that? You can't get away with it, Leslie. Leslie's in the biscuits.
I deserve it today.
All right, we have some gaps left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create little shapes, sort of aura around, and see what comes of that. And I'm going to fill them in. I want a little bit of that blackness in there. Okay, and then a little bit in there, see? Fill that. Of course, if you've got larger shapes, you could fill it with bubbles or stripes. So here we're going to get something a little bit larger here. We'll come in with a thicker pen. I'm just following and creating that little aura around those shapes that I've got there. I don't know what the shapes are going to look like. We'll see. Okay. Do you know, John's now rustling a packet. It's all around me. I know. No, it's not good. Isn't it? All right. So you see, I've got a space maybe for one there too. So let's put another one in there. You have a look around and see what you can find. Maybe one there. And of course, one there. Now this one, I think actually I'm going to join it to the border there. So it looks like it's going through, and I think I'm going to do, shall I know? I don't know. Decisions. I'm going to leave those. Oh, Chris, what size pen? Lots of different sizes. This one I'm using at the minute. There you go. As an 01. There we go. But I'll use anything from an 01, an 02, or an 03 to draw with. And then I'm filling in. You can use an 08 is a good one to fill in. I don't actually have, oh do I? There you go, an 08. You see the difference in the nibs there? Quite a difference, isn't it? Oh, there you go. That's good for filling in. Oh, I do quite like a brush. You see, it's very kind of, you know, you see pointed. It's got a soft edge on it that you can get into those little crevices and things. Kathy, I think, do you know what? The trick is just easing off your pressure. Don't hold it so tightly and stress with it. Ease off the pressure and just let the pen do the work. I'm a bit lazy like that. And just practice, yeah. I think that's completely practice. Okay, so we've got this lovely design going on around here. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some more of these little shapes. So we did those little sort of blobs. Fill them in with a bit of ink. And then I bring a line. And then a curve to join them together. Maybe a couple of those. So it's nice to fill the whole tile, but also sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of space around it so you can enjoy what you have got around. So we've now got this area here, and I'm going to create a grid there. So whether you've got a tile you want to use a straight edge, or whether you want to actually create a freehand, it's entirely up to you. But I never start at one edge, I always start middle-ish, so I can gauge the size. I don't want this grid too small. There we go. Oh. Alright, working my way down one edge. All the way down to use the space, you see? And then if I turn it round, I know Liv loves a straight line. Is there such a thing? There you are. So I've got that grid. And then going this way, again, what I tend to do is if you line up your straight edge, with one of the lines you've drawn. Let's draw that one in and then extend it. You're going to get something that's potentially got an angle to it, somewhere in the vicinity of what you would want to be. So there you go, you're not going to see much there. And then here we go, turn it round and follow that line up bank. You see? And I'm going to just bring in that border because it didn't really, it was a bit too light with it there. It wants another layer. Okay, there we go. So what we're going to do with our grid, let's have a look. It's a bit different, isn't it, this one? It's got lots of other things in it. So what I'm going to do is create lovely little auras on the inside. So I might want to do, I might want to do one at once. You might want to do a whole row. See, I'm going to fill in like little boxes. So same up here. So I quite like coming in and challenging myself to put all these lines in first. Just leaving a gap either side so we can come in later and put the other line in. There we are. I think sometimes it's whatever's comfortable for you. So I'm quite happy to do this, and that's gonna to the bottom. I'm not gonna see the whole shape there. Okay. Same sort of in this bit. So, as you get down here, you can just sort of make up little bits. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect to try and get that in. And there. Same along this one. See, when you get into it, drawing the lines, it helps you to keep them a little bit straighter, I suppose, because your hand's in at the same angle for drawing them all. We're not changing it about much. Okay. Now again, depending as well on how big your squares are that you've drawn. There we go. Almost done there. There we go. And again, I think it needs a little bit of drama, so I'm going to choose one side of those squares and I'm going to fill in a little square. So you choose whichever side, it doesn't matter. And you can put the little squares in. And just fill them in. We just want a little bit of detail in there, and if you keep everything the same level, so you just say stick to the one thickness of line all the way through, you don't quite get that little bit of a story going on. And that's what we're after. Okay, there you go. All right, let's have a look at it. Bit of a busy tile, this one, but because you've got these little gaps as well, it makes life a little bit easier. You've got somewhere to rest your eyes. All right, so let's bring in our pencil. So I do have pastel pencils as well, but I think I'm going to come in with a regular pencil first. Have a sip of tea, being that Leslie's made it for me. All right, first things first then, we've got a couple of things to do here. So let's work on this section where we put these extra lines around. So I'm going to come in and add pencil on those top edges. And then a little bit on the bottom as well, all the way around. So let's do the same on the others. So around the tops, and then the bottom. And then same on the others. Say bottom first that time. And then around the tops there. Might put a little bit actually underneath there as well, see, because it looks like that it's going under. Do the same on those. But then there, bottom of those and the top of those. And again, a bit under there. Okay, that's the first little bit. So that's like our shape. We could do individual rows, or we could do up the side. It's entirely up to you in this sense. We usually do up the sides, so I think what I'm going to do today is do the rows. See where that takes us. A little bit at the bottom there. And just maybe a touch at the top. See where it goes around the curve? And the same on this one. So turn it that way. It's a little bit easier to do it that way. Round those shapes there. And then just a little bit at the top there where we've got those curves. All right. So then moving on to this little design. Now again, you've got a choice. You can do top and bottom, or you can just do the bottom. And then tell it to you. I'm going to go top and bottom. I kind of like the shape it creates and put the highlight in the middle there. But you can change it round. Do it, whatever works. And same on these ones. And around we go. And this one. And there. Just a few under there. And then coming to our little squares. I'm going to firstly put a line around that shape because I want this to go into the background, and then choose one side of the lines and draw a little bit of a line there, and then the same on this one. Doesn't matter which side you choose, just sort of keep it the same as once you've decided. Okay, so tortillon. Let's have a look. I've got a few new ones sat here, look, all shiny and clean, but I'm going to go with an Old Faithful for now. And first things first, let's do the shadow underneath that bubble there. That's a little bit bigger. And then where we've got these sections, we did top and bottom. I'm going to soften the edges on these, neaten it up at the bottom if you need to. And the same across the top here, and leave a little area in the middle that's not got any graphite on it. So we've got that little bit of a highlight. And again, I'll work on the same sections around the tile, softening those areas and trying to leave a little bit of a space in the middle if I can. There we go. You see, got that highlight kind of thing there. Soften that off. Same with this one, a bit underneath, and then top and bottom, and then this section. Okay. And this one. Again, working my way around and along. So then coming to this one here. Very, very gentle swirls. I don't want to fill the whole space in, and they're quite small. So, you know, we're just trying to blend it very gentle, very little pressure. There we go. Just in our each little section there. Hardly anything. And then remember we did a little bit at the top on that curve. You can come in and work your way around there, add that little bit in. Same with this one. So again, very, very light pressure, little swirls. And soften the edge of that pencil there. Same with this one. And of course, I'm going to just do the same all the way down. And along here. And there. And then we come to the little flowers we've done on this side, and some of you might have done just the bottom, just the top one. You're going to sort of blend it according to how you've chosen. Like, I'm going to draw around there. But again, you're trying to leave a little highlight if you can. Just whether it's in the middle or whether it's in the top. You see, we've got that little. You see there, I'm just going to come back in and shade that section. Just ease it off a little bit. Off him. I did say shush, don't let her know. And she brought me a cup of tea in, but she was actually more interested in sneaking a packet of biscuits than what tile colour I was using. So I think I've got away with it. I think. until she watches this anyway. She's a bit busy to watch it today. She's supervising Tommy as well. I don't know who's supervising Dobby. He seems to be running riot at the minute. So, yeah. You can imagine what it's like downstairs. All right, so we did a little bit of a line around the top of this shape here. So again, let's add some swirls to that too, just to give that a little bit of a shadow. And then, oh, see, I thought that was Leslie then coming to snatch my tile. It's not, it's John. And John doesn't mind because he's colourblind, so it's fine. Oh, missed a bit there, look. Oh, missed a bit there. There you go. See how, with these lines, I'm working my way up and down, and just softening them off a little bit. It's in the background. There you go, sorry, it's in the background, so you don't need to do as much. Oh, Deborah, it would look nice stitched. There's a lot of them that do. It's okay, let's have a look at it with the shading. There we go. So this is a starting point. I'm going to bring in now my white chalky pencil. There we go. So, just so you know, it's not a white pastel, it is actually chalk. So we all know that you don't need to sharpen them too much, and they can be very brittle. So just so you're aware, and if you're ever sharpening one, put it in the freezer first for a little bit and sharpen it afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to start with, where should we start? I'm going to start with these little swirls here. You see where we got that first drawing? I want to just add a little bit of white around it, just on that top section. See, just a little bit of white around it. Doesn't need much, certainly because it's on a coloured tile. You don't need much at all, just around that top edge. And the same on this one. And I'm not particularly worrying about which side it's on, it's just having a little bit there. Okay? So then, looking at these shapes we've got, where we got that highlight that we'd left no graphite in, I'm going to bring a little bit of white in there. And same on the others too. I'm not going to colour it particularly. See, there's a little bit more here because it's a little bit bigger. But I want to add a little bit of white in. And the same down here. Okay, see our little bubbles? Just a little touch on the bubbles. And of course on the black. Let's do that on each of those. And again, my bubbles, some of them you might find really small, so you're not going to get anything in there. Just a little nick. Oh, Lena. No, Leslie's done that before. They all stick together. And Steph, yeah, it's a lovely pencil, isn't it? It can be a little bit, you know, needy, because you have to put it in the freezer before you need to sharpen it, but it really does make a difference to your work, and I'm hoping you'll notice that when you see what we've done on this tile. So you see, I'm not particularly colouring it in, I'm just adding a little bit to it. Bits in there. Okay, whilst I'm going. And as you know, the darker the tile you're working on, the more this is going to show up. So we want to put a little bit on the edges of these little shapes, and then maybe just the top of those little leafy shapes. Touch in there, but then as we get further down, I don't really want to do much. See, it's getting less and less the further down I go. And then the same sort of here. Across the tops there. Just little bits. And then a little bit, maybe a touch of a highlight on there. Okay. So let's have a look at that. Ooh, if it'll let me. All right. Look at the difference. So a couple things. I'm going to come in with a cleaner tortillon. clean one. And just very gently, and just in places, soften it off a little bit. So if it's a little bit of a stark line, we just want to clean it up a bit. If it's really small, you know, like on the bubbles, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to leave them as they are. But if it's a little bit bigger, it might need just a touch of work to help it along. See, this one in particular is a little bit larger, isn't it? Just needs a little bit of a helping hand. And there. And then just maybe, if it needs it, around there. Just along those top edges. And in there. And maybe only if you think it needs it. You don't want to try and not push it into that graphite. You want to keep the white if you can, but you want it to look like it's part of it and not just add it on. Okay, so you can choose here. You can bring in your regular pencil and you can add some shading where I'm going to put some, or I'm actually going to bring in a red pastel pencil, you see. So it's very similar kind of thing. And in this center bit here, I'm going to add some in that base. But again, if you've not got a colour pencil, or you think I want to keep it as is, come in with your regular pencil there. I'm going to add some there too, just on those curves. And because it's red on red, it's not going to be a massive noticeable type thing, but you can see it there. Okay, so I want a little bit more red at the top of these. And there. And again, you can bring in a different colour if you want to. There's options. You don't have to do exactly the same. But I want to try and bring this out a little bit more. So maybe a little bit of red on those bubbles too. Let's come in with that nice clean tortillon and just soften it off a little bit. Now you'll notice there's a lot of dust with pastels. That's fine, leave it. Don't try and blow it away just yet. You might need it to smoosh it in a bit more. There we go. And see, just sort of work it round. There we go. Just gives it that little bit of a hint of something there. And of course we can bring in the black pastel. There we go. Again, it's nice to use this because it really goes black, if you know what I mean. So like in the bottom of these bits here, although we've got black in, it's going to give it that sooty kind of effect. See there? So I want to just bring in a little bit more of these areas. You see where I'm just going to add a little bit more black onto the pencil that I did. And of course with pastels, if you're going to put it into a book or anything, you've got to remember that it needs a little what we would call fixing, because otherwise it will sort of smudge off into the rest of your work. So cheapest way is a little bit of hairspray. Most expensive is fixative, but you can also use like spray and shines and have a little bit of a sheen on it and finish it that way. But it's up to you. You could even laminate it if you wanted to. There we go. See, I'm just touching it slightly to give it a little bit of a sort of softening there, just a little bit. Because we've put the black next to the white, I'm hoping it's going to pop a little bit more. Right, let's have a look at it. There we go. So you can see now that we've got these lovely swirls. This is sort of faded into the background a little bit. I think I will put a little bit of shadow around the edges there. You see, just to sort of change that one. There we go. And then the rest of it, I'm actually going to leave as is. So, signature putting on. I'm going to put my signature actually in it today there. And there we go. There's our tile for the day. All done and sorted. So have a bit of fun with it. Try it in a few colours as we do. And of course, if you're around late at 7, catch me on Crafting Together with All Brands. and you might want to ink up a tile to get you going. Not too heavy, but you might want to ink one up. So, okay, have fun with this one. Yeah, orders will get out as soon as possible. Anybody coming to class this weekend, I am actually in the process of just sending emails out with the address and things like that. So it's on its way. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Okay, you take care. Bye.